On today's episode, we are going to be doing several free high-end flips. These flips were inspired by Joanna Gaines, by Restoration Hardware, and Ballard Designs. They have designs that I love but cannot afford, and we had some things that we needed in our home, and I wanted to wait to find things that we could actually get free or super affordable, and we got lucky that we had found three things that we are going to be flipping today to work for that high-end look that we desired, but on our much smaller budget. So let's get working. You're going to love these today. It's been a long time since we've shown you the progress in our garage hoard, but this is what it's looking like right now.
It's almost all the way empty.
The project that we're going to be working on first today is this little enamel table that we got for free at a yard sale. It was in rough shape structurally, but you know that is not a big deal for Manny. He can figure out how to fix this stuff in a jiffy. I wanted to do a table that was reminiscent of something that Joanna Gaines would have done in her fixer-upper days. She always had the cutest looking little kids tables and little coloring areas for kids or like play areas for kids. And she made it look high-end and custom, even though it's all DIY things that her crew had made or she had gotten from antique markets or things like that. So I wanted to get that high end. I paid a designer to create this for me look for much less, and it doesn't get any less than free since the table was free. So the first thing that we need to do with this table, as far as how we're going to be changing it, is to make the legs shorter, because this is a regular dining table height and I need it to be a kid's play table height. After Manny finished cutting down all the legs, it is time to sand everything that I intend to paint. When we filmed this project, Manny was still on his summer break from school, and it was before he had gotten the new job opportunity that he ended up taking recently. So he was still working full time on helping out with projects, and then we took a break for summer break to spend time as a family once we found out that he was going to start working really long and unpredictable hours in this new job. So if you were wondering why we took a little bit of a break in June, that is why, because we weren't really sure when we would have time to spend together after he started working again. But he's enjoying his new job. He ended up not finishing school and decided to take a position that paid well for what he already had certifications for, which is actually operating cranes. So he is really good at operating cranes, like huge cranes that you see doing big buildings and I don't know, all the crazy things that cranes do. I don't know how he does it, but I mean, you see he has great attention to detail, so I'm sure that's part of it. But when he was in school, he started realizing that the more research he was doing about jobs and how many people were entering that career field at the same time he would be entering it, made it mean that he was going to be put into a very low paying position in computer science, and it would be really high competition to even get into that, and he would be almost 40 years old at that time when he finished school. So we had to really rethink our entire plan that we had put in place, because our oldest child is about to be in her 10th grade year of high school, and we have to save up for a car for her, and we just want to spend more time with her and be able to provide her with a really great future when she finishes high school. So we really had to go back to the drawing board.
You see it got stronger. I haven't put the sides or the side bolts in, but I redid these right here and took the little nails, old nails out and put screws on them. So it made it stronger now, and I put that really tight. So now it doesn't do anything.
So we had like a little family meeting, him and I, one night, and discussed, what are we going to do in the future, because we were kind of coasting through him going through college and finding out more and more as he was going further into college that the competition amount, like how many people he'd be competing against for very few positions, was really high. And so when that happens, the employer kind of has the power there. So the pay has started to come down and down and down for these positions because there's so many people applying for these jobs. And so they can kind of just do whatever they want because people need these positions, right? And so once we figured out that that's what is happening, like even here in a huge city such as Houston, it's really hard for people. And I'm seeing people even post on Facebook in our community posts, like for our neighborhood, of people like saying, hey, does anybody know of any jobs in computer science? I have this degree. I'm having a really hard time. Nobody's even calling back. Like, I'm not even getting an interview. And that kind of freaked us out because that's the career field he was going into. So then we looked into cybersecurity, and it was the same thing. And the starting pay for cybersecurity would be good, but it would just be hard to find a job here in Houston. And he already had his crane license and can operate gigantic cranes. He has a CDL as well, and he loved doing it. He was just hoping to get a job where he wouldn't have to work such hard labor outdoors, and that's why he was going to college. But when we kind of ran the numbers, it didn't really seem financially smart to get into that career field at 40 years old, starting out as a beginner and having to work your way up for 10 years to even get to a decent pay. Now, these chairs right here I picked up from Facebook Marketplace. I got them for $10 for the 3. So these chairs were not free, but everything else was. But back to the story. So he called a few friends that he knew in the crane industry and said, hey, is anybody hiring? Because he already knows what the pay is for operating a crane operator. It's great pay. And so he knew that he'd be able to make good money, much better money than if he had started at an entry-level position doing computer science, almost double. And it's not like being rich by any means, but it's really good paying job. It's somewhere usually between $30 to $40 an hour, depending on what size crane you operate and your experience. And he's very experienced, so he was hoping to get on the higher end of that. So he started working with a company that his friend that he used to work with at a different company worked for now, and he's loving it there, and it's really going to help us financially because before he was just a full-time student and our main income was from here on YouTube, and that's great, but I actually don't make millions of dollars on YouTube. Who would have thought? So we were kind of just stressed about money a lot, and it was a lot of work. I want to mention that this little knob on here was so cute, but I realized after all that work that it had actually broken, and it was glass and really sharp and definitely not safe for a kid's play table, so I'm going to change that out. Also, the paint that I'm using for this is called Beyond Paint in just a white color, and we actually use this paint to paint our kitchen cabinets, like the frame part of our cabinets. It's really, really durable. I love it. It's easy to work with. It is expensive though, but as you can see in the background, my family's walking all around. It's because we were actually working on the kitchen renovation while filming this little table makeover. I pulled it inside and started painting it while I had the cabinet paint out. So they're working on the kitchen cabinets while I'm painting this little table right here. And then this handle I got from Hobby Lobby, of course. It was about $3.50 because I buy them when they are half off. But back to what I was saying, which is that it was really difficult to keep up with everything and try and make as much money as we would have had he been working in his field by doing YouTube and having a resale booth. And so I know a lot of you have been super confused about my resale booth closing and wondering, like, are we moving now? A lot of you have congratulated Manuel on his new job and also said, like, congratulations on graduating college. And so I wanted to make sure that I spent time during this video kind of explaining what really happened, because it happened kind of fast, and we were on our summer break while this was happening, so I didn't get a chance to tell you all these things. So he didn't graduate. We closed down our resale booth because I won't have the time that it takes to shop for and restock 2 resale booths, not even 1 resale booth, because of how many hours he's going to be working. With crane operating, the hours are really unpredictable. You work whatever hours the customer needs. So sometimes you can work a 12-hour day, sometimes you can work even longer than that, or sometimes you can work even less than that. So it really all just depends. But I wanted to take some time to kind of figure out how I could explain everything that happened in a way that makes sense to you all, and kind of tell you what our plan is going forward. But here's the next project.
Guys, I have been looking for a chair for my secretary hutch in my bedroom for such a long time now. I thought that I had wanted to get an embroidered seat in like a pink rose pattern to go with the roses that were on the secretary already, that my grandma actually decoupaged on there herself like 20-30 years ago. But I found this chair that is even better than what I had pictured in my head, and it was free.
Look at how beautiful this chair is. This is like the exact style that I love the most, with the cane back and the beautiful linen and all the distressed detail with a little bit of gold. And I can't believe how much they would have cost brand new. Over $500 brand new and $150 each used. And these seem like the chair is the exact one from Restoration Hardware. It matches exactly to the pictures that I saw online. So even more exciting. This is like one of the first ever, maybe the first ever thing I've ever owned from Restoration Hardware. How many times can I say ever? But I don't think I've had anything from Restoration Hardware before, not even thrifted. I'm pretty sure. My little one had to come in and help out with this one because this little tool is super fun and handy, and the kids have a blast using this. And I'm going to link this in my Amazon store down below in the description box, because everybody needs one of these in their home. I am not trying to just push you to buy something. It is something you are going to use all the time. So it takes off all these little pills that are on the linen fabric here, and it comes off instantly. This thing, I've had the same batteries in it since I bought it years ago. The batteries last a really long time in it, and it works on shirts and furniture. And I've tried it on a rug. It didn't really do much to help with the little fuzzies on rugs, because that's just a little bit too big of a piece of fuzz. I don't know how to explain that, but it works so great on clothes and on furniture. I've actually used this on pillows as well. And you just take this little bottom piece off and dump out. This is everything I got off of that seat right there. You dump it. And then the next thing that I need to do is vacuum all the crevices, because you know I am a neat freak. Next, since there were no stains on the seat, I'm just going to disinfect it using this Odoban odor eliminator and disinfectant spray, and I'm going to mist it until the entire surface is damp. The next day, I brought it into my bedroom and I put this cute little handmade pillow on here. I actually picked up this pillow from an estate sale as part of a king-size bed set for 20 bucks. The whole set, 20 bucks. Such a great score. I got it on the half off day on Sunday. I also picked up this cute little planner from Home Goods the other day for $9.99. And it's awesome. I just love sitting at a little desk or a little secretary and planning out my day, using my little fun stickers and things like that. I'll try and link some of these in my Amazon store as well. It may not be the exact same one, since I did get mine from Home Goods, or you can go to Home Goods. It's probably cheaper to get them from there anyway. But I just love sitting here. It's like this romanticizing my day sort of atmosphere, planning out my life as if I'm in a cute little romantic comedy or something, reading my fun magazine and enjoying my super expensive chair that I got for free. I also sit at this desk to do my YouTube editing sometimes, and so having this chair is definitely going to be something that I use all the time. The next and final project that I'm going to be working on today is replacing this round glass cabinet with my grandmother's cabinet. Remember, I kept all my Harry Potter stuff in this cabinet and I had got it for free from a yard sale. Well, I'm replacing it with my grandmother's cabinet, and I gifted that round glass cabinet to somebody else because there was one day where my kids were running through the house and they almost ran into that curved glass, and I thought, you know what? I need to give this to somebody else because my kids are going to break that glass and it's really hard to replace. But I'm going to do this Ballard Designs inspired look on my grandmother's lawyer cabinet, I think it's called, or something like that. She treasured this piece for my entire life and had her fun china and collectibles inside here, and I thought it would be the perfect piece of furniture to do that Ballard Designs look on because I've been wanting that bookcase from Ballard Designs or like a dupe of it ever since I first saw it, and I just can't spend that money. I don't know. It's just too much money for a piece of furniture. So why not do it myself in my own way with a piece of furniture that I treasure because it was my grandmother's. The first thing that I need to do is paint the inside of the cabinets with a white paint. I'm just using a white paint that I had in my stash of paints, not any kind of white in particular, and it doesn't have to even be the same white that I'm going to use on the outside of the piece because they don't like overlap in any way. When you look inside the cabinet, it will look just as white as the outside of the cabinet. To get that two-toned look that they have with the cabinet at Ballard Designs, I'm going to be using this paint in the color called Crockery, which is part of the Cottage Color collection of DIY paints. I actually got it from a viewer. Thank you so much for sending that to me. But I wanted it to look like that two-tone look that the original one had at Ballard Designs. Although the original one has wood, I am not going to be making mine look like wood. If you've seen my decorating videos where I decorate my big huge china cabinet, you will know my china cabinet is in a beige just like this crockery color, and so I thought keeping it this beige would help make it match the other piece of furniture in my dining room, which is my gigantic china cabinet. If you haven't seen that thing, man, you need to take a trip over to my other channel and check that thing out because it is the most magnificent, gigantic china hutch in the whole wide world. I bought it from my friend's parents and I treasure it dearly. After I painted the edges of each of these doors, I took a piece of paint tape and used that as my new handle. Well, there are no handles on the door. I didn't want it to get stuck closed to where I couldn't open it back up again. Obviously, I learned that from experience. I've definitely made that mistake before in other projects. But I took all those handles off that were on there because I'm going to be changing them out later. And now I'm going to be painting the face of each of these windows on here. The original cabinet from Ballard Designs has I believe it's called a Cremini latch or handle on there. Those cost like $70 a piece, so that's not happening. Or Cremini bolt or something like that. Like, if you know, comment it, please. But I don't have that, so I do have some black handles that I wanted to test out on here. And I think these look really cute, but I think they just look too small. And I want something bigger, a bigger scale, and I'm not really sure I want black hardware on here because, like I was saying, I'm trying to match my big china cabinet, and that china cabinet has white handles on it with the beige color. So I think that I'm just going to go with a different handle and not these black ones. When I'm all done and I put the handles on in the end, I want you to please comment down below which one you would have done. Would you have done the black small one or this large white one, which is the one that I end up choosing to put on here? I love the larger size, and I think it kind of goes more proportionately with the size of the cabinet door. I need to stop at Lowe's because I ran out of trim paint. I thought I had some still, but I guess I don't. So I'm gonna run up to the store really quick and grab a small little can of it. This is the trim paint that I ended up picking up. I wanted it to be kind of glossy and go with the same exact trim that I have in the room itself, so that way it kind of all goes together. It's a really durable trim paint too. I started out by brushing on all of the paint, but quickly I started not enjoying that you could really see all of the brush marks. Of course, I used a not so great brush for this, so that is probably why. But later on you will see that I switch up my method to a brush and roll technique. When you do this, you just brush on the paint and then go over it with a foam roller. It is a really fast way to get painting done and remove all of your brush strokes as you're going, and you don't have to pour a bunch of paint into a tray and roll it onto the roller. You just take an empty roller and roll that paint after you put it on with the brush. This is a really good way to paint furniture indoors. So if it's too hot or too cold outside and you can't paint outside, do this. Or if your piece of furniture is way too heavy for you to take outside to do this project, you can also do this for that too. It's a really great hack to get a flawless finish without having to take a piece outside and spray it.
I can't get up alone, too heavy on my own. The world is moving on, I'm still standing here, searching for steady ground, a place to settle down. No reasons left to find. One day I'll change your mind, and it won't come easy, but I know it's worth the fight. And I will run across the rivers, anywhere with you. I won't give up, I'll take my chances, and I will follow you through the night. I'll follow you. I make the same mistakes, forget how much it takes. No reasons left behind. One day
The final step to finishing this piece off is to take a razor blade and just scrape off all of the excess paint that I got onto the glass. This is much more quick and effective than it would be to tape everything off. Saves you money as well because you don't have to buy the paint tape. Everything is looking flawless and beautiful, and I love how these handles turned out. But would you have gone with the black handles or these white handles? Let me know in the comments section down below.
keep me hanging on, and I will run across the rivers anywhere with you. I won't give up, I'll take my chances, and I will follow you through the night.
It is so hard to record inside glass cabinets or glass picture frames. It always glares terribly. I don't know if there's a way to fix that, but I got this really beautiful wall painting at Hobby Lobby. They have the best wall decor there, and it's the cheapest you can find. And I thought this was such a Nancy Meyers inspired high-end look. I could totally see Ballard Designs selling a picture just like this. And it was the perfect finishing touch for on top of this cabinet that belonged to my grandmother. I know for a fact, 100% for sure, she would have loved what I did with it. It is definitely her style as well. So it looks beautiful empty, and just seeing it all filled up with now our favorite collectibles as a family, just like my grandmother did with all her favorite collectibles inside this cabinet, is really a full circle moment for me. And I also get the extra joy from the fact that I created something that was way too expensive for me to get at Ballard Designs, but has that same feeling for me. And I'm super excited for all of the amazing pieces that I got today and flipped, thanks to Manny's help for a lot of it. But I've got all these things for free. I only spent $10 on the 3 chairs that went with that little table that I got for free at a yard sale. This chair was free, and my grandmother's piece of furniture was free as well. I did have to get some supplies to do these DIYs, but it still was extremely affordable. If you have not checked it out yet, please head over to my other channel. It is just titled Corey. I have it linked in the description box down below. But I came out with a new video yesterday where we did an entire bedroom makeover in a historic charm kind of look with some modern decor accents, and you are going to love that. So as soon as you finish this video, head over to my other channel and check that video out if you have the time. And if you liked what you saw today, don't forget to hit subscribe down below so you can see more videos just like this. I'll see you next time. Bye!